Welcome to Three Crosses Farrier Company. I'm Caleb, and we're going to be walking you through shoeing one of the hardest horses I do. He's not so hard because of what he has going on or the kinds of shoes that we put on, but he stands probably the worst of any horse on my list. He has the ability to make shoeing him an absolute nightmare on a good day. Now what you're going to notice here is we pulled off the shoe. He has dental impression and 3D half mesh pads. The blue that you see there as I'm peeling out, that blue greenish color, the turquoise color, that is the remaining of the copper talks that I put underneath the DIM, the dental impression material. Now, I recently saw a video of a guy not liking the dental impression, not liking the half mesh pads, claiming that they create thrush. Anytime that we cover the bottom of the horse's foot, there is a possibility of creating thrush. And almost not a possibility, it's almost a guaranteed deal. But what you'll notice here is as I clean this foot out, we get to live tissue rather quickly. It looks really good. Yes, there's some flakiness, yes, there's some thrush, but nothing that's terrible. This hoof is overdue. This horse is probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks past when he was supposed to be done. He's actually my buddy's horse, who's also a farrier, who's worked with me in the past. And unfortunately, he's had some health issues, and so I'm picking up his slack for him this week. Now you'll notice the idea is that we trim a nice flat line all the way around. And you can see here, he just leans on me, he pulls, you can see me moving back and forth, and that's because he's constantly moving and touching, and he reaches around. You've seen his head come around a couple of times. He's just a horse that does not like to stand. Now there I'm checking level to make sure the shoes stay level. Now here's the dental impression that I'm using. This is the softest dental impression that I have. I also put copper sulfate granulars in the impression material itself. This helps keep thrush to a minimum. It's basically Play-Doh for farriers. It feels similar to Play-Doh, and it's actually a whole lot of fun to put on the bottom of a horse's foot. Now, it's a two-part solution. Here you'll see I'm putting in the copper sulfate granulars. This is going to help keep the thrush down. I don't know that you can overdo copper sulfate granulars. I love this stuff. It really is amazing stuff. And I'm just moving that dental impression around a little bit, getting it prepped for the shoe. The shoe that we're using here is a natural balance, and the 3D pad actually has a wedge in it. Normally the shoe has a wedge in it, but this time we're using a pad with a wedge in it. Now here you're going to notice why this horse bothers me. Right there. He constantly moves his back end, he moves his front end. It just makes it miserable to shoe him. And he knows better. He's not a wild horse, he's not a mean horse. He just is weird. He will literally go up against the concrete blocks in the background of this video and rub up against him and scratch himself on him. He's one of the weirdest horses I've ever been around, and probably one of the more annoying ones I've been around. Now you're going to notice the shoe does not go all the way out to the end of the hoof. This is by design. This shoe is a breakover shoe, and it's square toe. Now the reason that we don't put that shoe all the way out to the end of the toe is that that's not naturally where this horse's hoof wall would be. We're modifying his breakover, so we want that shoe to set the breakover further back, and this helps take pressure off of the deep digital flexors and his heels. And this horse is rather heel sore, and that's one of the reasons we have dental impression under here. We have frog support. We're trying to support the back end of this horse. Now you'll notice that that nail wasn't quite driving where I wanted it to, so I modified it a little bit. changed the angle so it would pop out where I wanted it to. Now we're gonna finish the foot. This is where you're gonna see me get really frustrated. This horse just leans. I can't stress it enough. This is one of the most uncomfortable horses for me to do as a farrier. He just doesn't give you a break. So what you can't see in the video is that I am leaning on his leg to hold it in place. He is pushing so hard that he's gonna drop it right off the jack.
Dude!
Now I carry 3 different kinds of rasp. This is my finish rasp, and then I have a hot rasp that I use for rasping on shoes. And here you can just see him being a jerk. I apologize that there is some language in this video. It happens, and when they get like this, it'll just drive you. This just makes a farrier mad when they do this, because it's not that they're scared, it's not that they're hurt, it's not that they're upset, it's just that they're like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to be here. Even though every time we do this for him, if we don't do this, we've tried doing several different applications, he goes lame. These shoes, you get done with these shoes, you drop the foot and he just licks and chews and is like, this is the greatest thing ever. But he's an absolute jerk to do while you're doing it.
Stand up on your own feet.
So you'll see me fighting with him a little bit here. I'm gonna clinch up these nails, finish him up. That was not the prettiest finish job I've ever done, but he was making it really hard for me to do my job at this point. Now, started doing these videos. I think it's gonna be kind of cool. We're gonna do the other side and you're gonna get to see both sides of this horse's feet. And I'm pretty excited to show the other side because each foot is a little different. Every horse's foot is a little different. So this is the right front foot that we're doing here. And now we're gonna go do the left front. Again, I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, but what we have here is a PLR, Natural Balance 3-degree wedge shoe with a 3D half mesh pad. The shoes that we're putting on are Natural Balance with a 3-degree wedge 3D half mesh pad. Basically the same setup, just a little different. These shoes have been on back order from the factory for a couple months now. So I've used up all my stock and I'm waiting on them to get back in stock again. Now I think this is one of the coolest things because you're gonna get to see a perfect impression of the horse's foot as we peel that dental impression out of it. That is just some of the most satisfying thing I've ever done. I just love peeling dental impression out of the bottom of a foot. Especially when it comes out in one piece. Again, you see all that green turquoise colored material, that's your copper sulfate. That's doing exactly what we want it to do, and that's keeping bacteria and all the nasty stuff that a horse walks on and gets trapped under its foot out and killed off. I'm using a short blade hoof knife. It's way easier on my wrist and elbows. I've used a long blade for a long time, and now I don't know that I could go back. I love the way this knife feels. Now, this is my loop knife. Again, I wouldn't be without it. It allows me to work both sides of the frog. It's a great knife. Love it. Keep it all the time. I've got a new one coming here pretty quick, and I'm pretty excited to see how that goes. Again, when I'm nipping a hoof, the idea is to nip flat. You don't want to be making gouges in the hoof wall. You want to basically come from the toe to the back of the heel and then do it again and land at approximately the same level on both heels. Now you'll see this horse is rather slung forward. That's another reason that we have the wedge and the frog support. When this horse came to us, he was crushing his heels really bad, and he's not doing that anymore. Now I apologize, in this moment I forgot to start my video, or it didn't start, so you don't get to see as much rasping when I'm getting it flat. Again, we're going to mix up some dental impression material, There are, I think, 3 different softness levels in the dental impression material line that I buy. I buy Glue U products. I just really like their products. They do a great job for me. They have blue, pink, and green, and blue is their softest. And you can see this goofy horse. Look at him licking the walls in the background. He's just a very special horse. I don't know that I've ever worked on a horse quite like him. Again, putting copper sulfate granulars in the bottom of the hoof.
Good. Stop pulling.
One of the things that we worry about as farriers is overpressure, and that's one of the reasons that I love the half mesh pads so much. I don't have to worry as much about overpressure.
Dang it, dude. Hold still.
The reason being is that when he steps down, he presses that dental impression material into the pad, into his hoof, everywhere, and you do not have to fight with overpressure. If you cover that whole bottom of the foot with a pad
Can't move everything.
and then put this stuff in,
Hold still.
and you don't do it just right, you can overpressure a frog and the horse will be more lame than he was before you started. The trick with dental impression materials, it's actually super expensive. It's about 80 bucks a little it's not a bottle, but a little container of it. And it's like, well, getting the right mix so that I don't waste any. I haven't gotten perfect at that. I've gotten better, but I still seem to end up wasting a little bit of dental impression material every time. A lot of guys will bend the nails over or whatever. I don't like sharp things on the hoof, so I wring my nails off. I'm gonna finish him up again. You're gonna get to see him being him. He's gonna lean on me and do his thing. You'll notice that I do not finish. Again, I said this previously in the video. We don't finish the hoof all the way to the shoe. These are a breakover shoe. We roll the toe and we allow that foot to break over a little sooner than it would naturally. And that's to help the deep digital flexor tendons, the heels, everything basically in the back end of this horse. Because he's low heeled anyway, we want to get some pressure off the heels and off that back end of his hoof. These hoof-it jacks, I love the design of the cradle. The only thing that I would say that kind of bothers me is that after a while, after you've used them and had horses like this, stand up on them and beat them up, they tend to start rolling around. You'll see how it was moving around on me, and that is kind of annoying. I probably should drill and put a bolt in there. That'd stop it. And that should just about do it. Clean that up just a little more. I'm trying to remember to take more videos so you can see the hoof as well as the horse, and I haven't quite got that done yet. All the videos that I'm taking are done by me. I don't have a designated filmer, which makes it a little hard. And you can just look at the pressure he's putting on that jack. And I'm standing on the jack to keep him from knocking it over. But look at how much pressure
you don't even have to be good. Just
he can be a lot. He's just fighting me. This is one of the hardest horses I do. I am dog tired by the time I get done. Well, that'll about do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments.